Hey, what's up, everybody? We are the Comic Book Guys, and this is the channel where we talk about stuff to do with comic books, comic book movies, anything that's kind of...
all things comics.
Yeah, all things comics, that's right. And today what we're talking about, this was Matt's idea, and I think it was a pretty good one, of what are our top 10 most jaw-dropping or shocking or surprising moments in comics.
Yes.
Now... I've got my 5, you got your 5.
Yes.
And if I didn't mention it, I'm Guy, this is Matt. I maybe glossed over that, but yeah, thanks for joining us, and I'll let Matt kick it off. What is your first, I don't know, jaw-dropping moment in comics?
In no real order. The idea behind this was maybe not just story-wise, but visually stunning moments in comics. And yeah, there are some moments that you could argue are going to be more iconic or more stunning or more shocking or more jaw-dropping than these, and that's fine. These are just what my picks are. So
yeah, we're not like getting these lists by any scientific means.
No.
We're not doing polls or surveys or anything. They're just the stuff that
cool moments that we think are like really iconic moments in comics.
Yeah.
If you have your own, hey, let us know. But my first one is going to be from Civil War #7. The series by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven on art. It's from 2006.
Is it? I thought it was Miller. Is it not Miller?
No, Mark Millar. It's Millar. He is Scottish as hell.
Oh.
I have never been to a convention and got to meet him, but I've seen interviews with him, and he's been on various podcasts or whatever and shows. He seems like a really nice guy.
I've been saying Mark Miller for years. It's like I've been saying Todd McFarlane for years, and everyone kills
Mark
me.
Millar.
Okay, it's Todd McFarlane and Mark Millar.
I've met Steve McNiven several times. I have several pieces of art from him. He's a really cool guy to sit there and talk to. He'll sit there and just BS with you. He's a real nice guy. If you do see him at a convention, just go up and say hi. If you just want to say hi and I really like your art, he would be more than happy to hear from any fans.
Cool.
But the moment, it's actually two moments in the same issue. This is the big showdown between both sides, Cap and Iron Man's teams. And Spider-Man had originally been on Tony Stark's side. But then, he saw, he peeked behind the curtain a little bit and he saw what was really going on and he decided to switch over to Cap's team. And so he's back, because before, when he was on Iron Man's side, he's in the Iron Spider suit, but now he's switched back to the old red and blue, classic Spider-Man. And there's a big battle. And the moment is there's the big fight, and Mr. Fantastic is watching Spider-Man go through a crowd, and he just, one-punch knockouts like, four guys, and he's just kind of looking at him in awe, and he just whispers, "Amazing." And then Spider-Man just kicks him right in the face and says, "Spectacular." And I thought, damn, that is cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. And then in that same issue, you got like Thor's fighting Hercules, but it's not really Thor. It's a Thor clone that Reed Richard and that Tony Stark came up with, or I think it was Hank Pym.
Was it a clone, or was it? I thought it was like a cyborg or
it was like a cyborg clone type thing. And his hammer was this thing that Reed had come up with. It wasn't really Thor's hammer. And while they're fighting, Hercules figures out that this isn't really Thor. Because he kills Goliath, shoots him right through the chest and kills the guy. And Hercules is like, this is not Thor. And there's this big splash page where he's yelling out, "Thou art no Thor," and just like cutting loose and just smashing his head wide open with his own hammer. And that scene is, amazing.
Those are
stuff.
Those are some of the best scenes in comics, though. Like, when Wolverine realizes or he's fighting robots or whatever, it's like, okay, now you get to really see him go berserk.
No more holding back.
All right, so yeah.
And both of those scenes are in the same issue, and wow, what a build-up and what a payoff.
Civil War, I mean, it was like not the first big event that Marvel ever did.
Not by any means.
But like, I think that was during the second phase of my comic collecting. I took a long pause, and then I came back, and Civil War was going on or just started or whatever. And it might have been And they don't make them like that anymore. It might have been one of the best comic events they ever did.
I think the last really good comic event they did was probably, I want to say, Siege.
Siege was good. But then remember they went on
That's
to...
when the heroes made the big comeback.
You remember when they did like AVX and it was like, oh, just stop already.
Stop. That's been done before in Contest of Champions, and you're just trying to like do it again with different characters, and it fell flat to me. It wasn't that good. Yeah, just stop. It's most comics they put out are just money grabs.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's a good one. I don't think mine is going to top it. It's not as I don't know, as grand. Like it was a great, really big story, but it wasn't like overwhelming. Like, oh, this got to save the world. It was like a neat, heroes versus heroes thing. My first one is going to be a little bit more, low key, but it was heartbreaking. Then this is why I picked it. It's when in Walking Dead number 100, Negan bashes Glenn's brains in. Mm-hmm. I came home with that comic book from the comic book store and I was like, cool, Walking Dead number 100 and all these different covers. Mm-hmm. And how many covers were there? There must have been, and this was back before they really did a lot of covers.
Yeah, the variant cover.
That was a big deal. It's like there must have been 20 different covers, and that wasn't really normal at the time. Now every comic book has 20 different covers.
Well, yeah, because they reboot every series every 5 issues and come out with 30 different variant covers. And just, God, stop.
But, the Walking Dead show was going on, and we had a couple of friends that would come over every Sunday, and we'd watch Walking Dead. Me and my wife, we'd, host, and like, okay, number 100, I came home, I'm all excited, and I'm like flipping through it, and I'm reading it, and all of a sudden, kaboom, baseball bat to the head, Lucille and Negan, and I was devastated. It was like, not often, I mentioned this in a previous episode, where I get like emotional about a comic book. And it's not even like Glenn was my favorite character or anything, but it was like, I couldn't believe that it just happened.
Yeah.
What was I think you were reading it at the time, too.
Oh, yeah. I was reading Walking Dead. I jumped onto that after everybody was recommending it to me. So pretty early on in the storyline, maybe like issue 8 or 9.
Oh, wow. So you were into that. You were on early. I didn't start reading it until in the 80s, maybe.
Yeah. And I was able to easily get the first, few issues, because, again, it hadn't really kicked off. It was just my friends from the old comic shop, when on comic book day, when we'd all sit down and just, BS and stuff and talk, and it was a recommendation. I looked at it, I'm like, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing about The Walking Dead was anybody could go at any time. Anybody could go at any time. No one was safe. Mm-hmm. Because characters you think were going to be around for a while, not so fast.
Yeah. And unlike Marvel, people stayed dead in that story.
Well, then they become undead.
Well, okay. But still kind of dead. But yeah. That's my number one pick. Well, not like top pick number one, just my first pick for like a shocking scene in a comic book that really stuck with me.
Yeah. My next pick is from a series called Vader Down. It's a Star Wars comic made by Marvel, and that one is by Jason Aaron and Mike Diodato on the artwork. Mike Diodato is a really good artist. I'm reminded a lot of John Buscema, especially John Buscema's Conan artwork time frame.
Okay.
He really is reminiscent of that for me, Mike Diodato, and that's a compliment, believe me. I'm a huge John Buscema art fan. I love his artwork. Anyway, in the first issue, I'm sorry, that one came out in 2015, so it's a lot more recent that's the most recent one on my list. And if anybody's read that issue, you know what I'm talking about.
Let me ask you this, though, before you spoil it for me, because I haven't read it, and please, by all means, spoil it for me. I probably never will read it. But did Vader finally get, like, the justice that was due? Like, they kind of gave him justice in one of the movies. I forget which scene it was now, but, like, you see the red lightsaber come out in the dark, and he comes down the hallway and just, like, messes everybody up. Was that, I forget.
That's in Rogue One.
Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
Prior to that, though, it was like Vader never really got that moment. Did they give him that moment in comics, or is this something else?
What do you mean?
Just like the moment of oh wow, you know what I mean? Like that
Oh, that badass.
like Vader's
Vader all out.
And in the old movies, you never got.
He definitely does that in the comics. He goes nuts.
I don't know if it was just like choreography wasn't there or what, but you just never got that like, oh, Vader is a badass.
They see Vader in all his glory,
right?
And all his badassery. There's definitely lots of moments in the comics like that for sure. With him going like.
Okay.
Full on Darth Vader mode.
Vader's my favorite Star Wars character.
Oh yeah.
And I just feel like they never gave him the justice that he was due.
Well, read Vader down.
Okay, so what happens in this one?
What happens is his ship gets shot down, hence the name Vader down. And so he's on this planet, and the rebels find out that he's there, and so then they land and they surround this guy, and it is crazy because in the artwork you see like he's got like there's like 100 guys around him. And they're telling him, hey, you're surrounded. And what does he say to these guys? It's iconic. He says, the only thing I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men.
Oh, that's a good one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, that is just, that stuck. I mean, shiver, goosebumps on when I saw that and read that. I'm like, wow, that is good.
Does he proceed to unleash hell or what happens?
Yes, absolutely. They don't capture him, so
he gets away.
He gets away.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, check that out. It's really good stuff.
See, the movies were like totally devoid of that with Vader. It was like he's just this, huge, scary visage of like Sith Lord terror, but like never really whoops ass in the movie. Like he's got the fight scene with Obi-Wan.
Well, you see that in Rogue One at the end of Rogue One.
Right, so that
really see him just going all out.
And in Rogue One they did it, but like I was kind of out after all of the prequels and sequels. I was kind of out of Star Wars. So
I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the Obi-Wan series.
I never saw that.
Yeah, it's not great. There's a lot of things wrong with that. But the Obi-Wan Vader fight scene was pretty good.
Okay,
that was pretty good.
I might have to look up at least that fight scene.
Yeah, that moment, that final confrontation between the two of them at the end was pretty good.
All right, well, good pick. I'm going to check it out. Let's go on to, what are we on? My number
2.
No, my number 2. Okay, so Death in the Family. Batman issues 426 through 428. Jason Todd's Robin, murdered by the Joker. Spoiler alert if you're running behind a little bit. Couple of things about this book. Parts of it, well, the whole series, super cheesy. Like the part where like Joker gets diplomatic immunity for being the whatever of Iran. That was like, what were you guys thinking? But the scene where, they're following him and Robin's like, oh, I'm going to go into this warehouse and I'm going to get him. And Joker catches him and crowbar. Batman finds him. Mm-hmm. I mean, I read that a long time ago and that was a level of violence that you really, I don't know, at least I didn't see in comic books as a kid like that. And it was like kind of eye-opening. It was like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that you could do this in comic books, comic book code and all of that stuff, right? That's my number 2 pick. And interestingly, and I'm sure most people know this, I wasn't there for when this happened, but that was like a call in and vote, wasn't it? Like, didn't they have some sort of thing where everyone could like call a phone number and decide?
There was a vote. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I am not a big DC guy. I'm a Marvel guy through and through.
Yeah.
I am familiar with some DC stuff, though. But yes, this was something that they had to vote on.
Like the readers could call up.
Yes, the readers voted on what they wanted to happen. And he was really hated as a Robin.
Why is that? I don't even...
I'm not sure. I'm sure there's people that have done many, many videos on it. I would recommend searching that up. I am not an authority on the matter at all. But he was not a popular Robin.
So it was Dick Grayson... To Jason Todd.
Yeah, Jason Todd was not well liked.
And then who was the third one? I always forget. I don't know why I draw a blank on it. There was Damian Wayne, but he was the fourth one, I think.
Yeah, he comes in much later. I'm not sure.
Or maybe, depending on your time, like what you consider canon, maybe Carrie Kelly, the girl Robin from Dark Knight Returns, was the third Robin. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why I can't think of the name of the third Robin. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm not a big DC guy, so.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting. And the thing that I wonder about that whole, like, calling in to vote, do you think it was real? Do you think that they already decided beforehand, like, we know what the outcome of this story is going to be, but let's let people, call up?
Apparently, it was legit.
Was it?
Yeah, it was legit, from what I understand. And the fans overwhelmingly voted just get rid of them.
The skeptic in me doesn't believe that they actually did an actual vote, but I mean, who knows? But yeah, for me, that was a shocking moment in comics. It was like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that they could do this in comic books that weren't like, independent or underground or something. So there's my number 2 of most shocking or jaw-dropping moments in comics.
All right, my next pick is from another Alan Moore. I know, God, we keep bringing him up.
He's one of the best all time.
I know, what can we say?
Do I have an Alan Moore on my list? I think I do. So, I mean, you're going to get more. You're going to get more.
Watchmen number 12. In that issue, and this is 1986, it was Alan Moore, of course, and Dave Gibbons on art. It's the final issue of the series, and Night Owl and Rorschach have pieced together a little bit about what's been going on, and that Ozymandias is actually responsible for some of these deaths that they've been, investigating. Mm-hmm. But they don't know the full scope of his plans. They know that he's killed some people and that he has driven Dr. Manhattan off the planet. And so they're on his way to his Arctic base to confront him. And they get there finally, and there's a little bit of a fight. He easily dispatches them. But then he tells them his entire plan. He tells them everything that's been going on, and they didn't know the full scope of it. And they're telling him, okay, well, we're not gonna let you do this. We're gonna stop you. And he's like, stop me. I did this 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And just, wow. I don't think I recall ever a moment in comics where the villain is like, well, I've just explained my entire villainous plot to you, but you're too late.
Yeah.
I already did it.
Usually they go on the monologuing before they do the plan, and then the hero stops them from doing the plan.
That incredible scene from The Incredibles. I love it.
Which I'll bet you...
Oh, you got me monologuing.
Yeah. I'll bet you Alan Moore was, I don't know, in tuned enough to realize, like, oh, this is the trope. They're going to monologue, and then this hero saves the day, but he's going to monologue, and this doesn't matter. It's too late. It doesn't
matter. You're too late. I did this 35 minutes ago. And I remember reading that going, oh, my God.
Yeah.
They don't save the day. Like, wow.
Now, follow-up, or this will be one of my honorable mentions. After that, Rorschach's leaving, and Dr. Manhattan is like, what he did was wrong, but it was a necessary evil. And Rorschach's like, well, I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan says, no, you're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, there's no compromising from Rorschach, none.
And he goes, well, if you're going to stop me, then go ahead and do it already. And poof, makes him blow up.
Yeah, it turns him into red mist.
Yeah.
On the spot. Yes.
I mean, the whole series was amazing, but that last issue, it hits hard.
Yeah, wow.
What do we got here now? Number 3? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to say it's an Alan Moore story. Batman the Killing Joke. He comes in, knocks on Barbara Gordon's door. She answers the door, and then he's sitting there. He's got the hat on. He's got the whole
just his little Hawaiian shirt,
the camera, the whole 9 yards.
Looking creepy as hell.
Winds up shooting her, crippling her, and taking a bunch of pictures of it to later torture her father, Jim Gordon, towards the end of the storyline. That was like, and there's actually kind of a question that I still have about that scene that confuses me to this day. But that was another one of those, like, I didn't know that they could even do this in comic books. Mm-hmm. Like, it felt wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, holy moly. Now, the thing that I've always questioned about that scene, and this is a little bit sensitive. So if you're triggered by or bothered by discussion of potential sensitive topics about assaulting women,
I think I know where.
Let's tune out. But the question is, or the speculation or the assumption was that Joker sexually assaulted Barbara after he shot her, and I never really picked that up in the book as being what happened.
Supposedly there is some artwork that is missing or was changed.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard about this.
And I'm not sure about, again, I am by no means an authority on DC stuff, but apparently there was some of the images, the pictures that he was taking was of her, in various stages of undress. She was nude.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a full-on sexual assault, but he definitely was supposed to have taken some nude pictures of his daughter to show to, Jim Gordon as part of his, torture, to try to drive him mad. But yeah, they decided they I think very wisely decided to pull that, because I think
that would have been a step too far.
Having the Joker go that route would just, that doesn't seem like the Joker. I mean, he's insane, but even Joker has his own standards of conduct,
You would think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's a route he's never gone down before.
But I think that's the thing that shocked me the most about this, is discussing it with people down the road or reading about it in, articles online or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, this happened too. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Are you kidding me? Like, that's the part that really shocked me. The scene in and of itself, the whole book was kind of a little shocking, but yeah, when I heard about that, I was like, I don't know if that actually happened or what, but no, you tell me that they pulled some of the art that maybe answers some of the questions that I just didn't know.
There are people that know a lot more about it than I do, because again, not the biggest the DC guy. So I've been doing do some searches and check what other people know about it.
All right, well, you're up next. What do you got?
Okay, well, again, believe it or not, it's another Alan Moore story.
Oh my goodness gracious!
It's crazy.
And the funny thing is, my next one is also another Alan Moore. So
it's like we're fans.
Yeah,
nuts. So Alan, if you're out there, give me a call, man. I'd love to talk to you.
He's apparently a shocking writer.
Apparently.
You're going with
V for Vendetta.
Okay.
In issue 7. Actually, it's wraps up part of the story from issue 6, where Evie, the girl that he rescues in the beginning, is captured. The government agents have captured her and they've thrown her into prison, and she's being tortured and starved, and it's not looking good for her. And then in the next issue, issue 7, she begins passing messages to the person in the cell next to her. They share their life stories and all these things that have happened to them. And she's just become super emaciated and almost dying. And then come to find out, one day she wakes up and the door is just open. And she walks off down the hallway and sees that this guard that she thought was standing there is a mannequin. Mm-hmm. And she goes through another door and she finds out that she has been in V's apartment the entire time. And this was all him. And that moment when she finds out that she hasn't been in prison at all, that she's been there with him this entire time, was just, wow. Just blew my mind. Never at any point did I think that she wasn't really legitimately captured. I was thinking, okay, how is he going to rescue her? Nope. It was him the entire time. And she ends up actually, once he explains everything, that, how could you do this to me? And he explains to her that, you were always in a prison. I just showed you the bars. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Man. And then she ends up understanding, and that he actually freed her.
Yeah, he had to break her down in order for her to get built back up, right?
She'd been so used to living like this that she never really saw that I've been a prisoner this whole time, by the way that they've set everything up, that we're all prisoners living, in conditions like this. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he freed her mind, and made her that she wasn't afraid of death anymore. She had a calm before, she thought she was going to die. And yeah, that was crazy, crazy good. I mean, Alan Moore, damn.
I haven't read the original comics. I've seen the movie, of course, and it seems to me that the movie actually followed that part of the story very closely.
It did. It followed that very closely. But I got to say, you got to read the story. It's so much more impactful.
You know what? I did start it once, and there was something about, I don't know if it was like the pacing or just the way he was writing. Mm-hmm. it felt, I don't know, like maybe it was on like too high of a level for me. Like I just didn't feel like I was grasping it.
Give it another shot, for sure.
It was a long time ago. I was younger. Maybe I didn't, like, maybe I wasn't ready for it.
I'll loan you my trade paperback.
Okay. I'll read it if you want to loan it to me. What are we on here? Oh, almost dropped it.
Number 4.
Number 4. All right. Another Alan Moore. Swamp Thing. Alan Moore started writing Saga of Swamp Thing issue number 20. And that was kind of like we got to like wrap up the old storyline so that he can start moving on with the new storyline. So that's what 20 is. And 21, well, at the very end of 20, they send the military in to basically try to get rid of everybody that knows anything about this situation that's going on with the Swamp Thing and the previous villain whose name was Arcane. There was several characters, 4 or 5 characters that they just wanted to get rid of. So they send the military in to attack, like with helicopters and stuff. They track down the Swamp Thing, they shoot him, and he goes down. You think like, oh, Swamp Thing's dead, right? Well, can't really shoot a plant and kill it, right?
Yeah, you can shoot boss.
So in the following issue, they have him in this lab, and they've got him in like sort of cryo freeze or something, and they're dissecting him and trying to figure out what makes him tick. The one scientist's name is Woodrow, and he winds up being a totally different villain later on in the book. But there's another scientist whose name escapes me. He's taken all these notes and stuff, and he's kind of self-narrating throughout the course of the book. And he's like, oh, if he ever sees my notes, oh, it's going to be bad, blah, blah, blah. Well, Swamp Thing wakes up eventually. And you don't know for sure if he saw the notes, but he eventually goes and finds the scientist in the lab, and what the scientist wrote in his notes was, and what had always kept Swamp Thing going is, I'm Alec Holland, and someday I'm going to be Alec Holland again. I'm gonna turn back into a person.
Sure.
But the notes clarify he's not Alec Holland. Alec Holland is dead, and somehow the regenerative growth formula that he was working on, mixing in with all of the plants in the swamp, just absorbed him, and he's just a ghost in he's just a ghost in the machine, basically.
Yeah.
He will never be Alec Holland again.
Shadow of his self, yeah.
And when he realizes I'm never going to be human again, he goes crazy and he kills this scientist and like goes off back into the swamp and like goes into this hibernation mode for a long period of time. When I read that, though, it was like, oh, that's like the most like sophisticated idea that I've ever read in a comic book, where it's like, is he a man? Is he a monster? What does that mean? You know, what happened to the person that he was? Very, very cool. Very, very surprising. I don't know, turn of events for me when I was reading that.
Yeah, who knew you'd get deep thoughts from Alan Moore?
Yeah, it was really, really good stuff.
All right, my last pick is a Spider-Man story from issue 2, Amazing Spider-Man 248 by Roger Stern.
You are a Roger Stern fan.
It's hard not to be.
If you didn't see our last episode that we did, it was the... what was it? Our top 10
story arcs.
Story arcs.
Yes.
And you did a Roger Stern one.
Roger Stern, yes.
You did a Roger Stern one in that, and
you guys this is part of his Spider-Man run.
Yeah, you guys should check out that last episode.
It's issue 248 in 1984, and it's a 2-part story. Well, not 2-part, but it's 2 different stories in the same issue. The first half of the book is him fighting Thunderball, and then the second half is called a story called The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man. And if you've either know what I'm talking about or you don't, because reading that story, you're not going to forget it. That is a punch in the gut, that story. If you haven't read it, go read it. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But what happens is the meat of it is that Spider-Man meets a kid, goes to his house and visits him. And, you know, puts on a little show. Hey, I'm climbing the walls. I'm lifting heavy things, you know. And as he goes to leave, the little boy asks him, who are you really? What's your real name? And he pauses. And then he just turns around and rips off the mask. I'm Peter Parker. I'm the guy that took most of those photos that you've clipped out and kept in your scrapbook. And I'm like, what?
I mean, how many people has he told I'm Spider-Man.
to this random kid
Yeah.
that he went to visit at his house.
Yeah.
Like, no way. Like, what is going on here? That was just jaw-dropping to me. But then later on, it gets, wow, so much more poignant.
Well, yeah, the real
Afterwards.
Yeah,
I'm not going to spoil it. You need to read it yourself. I'm telling you, if you don't get choked up, you are a monster.
I hadn't read it. You told me the story
Definitely
earlier.
read it. Everybody that's a Spider-Man fan should read The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man. And Stan Lee's even said that that's one of his absolute favorite Spider-Man stories.
Roger Stern wrote it. Mm-hmm. Who drew it?
I'm not 100%.
No, you don't
because John Romita Jr. did the artwork on the first half of the book. Mm-hmm. And the second half, it does not look like his style at all. I am not 100% who drew that.
Okay.
Because there's no individual artist
Give the credit
credited on the beginning of the story.
Sure, yeah. Before we go into mine, you have any honorable mentions you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I think one honorable mention is going to be Thor 362, I want to say from 86, maybe?
Okay.
It was the Walt Simonson run on Thor. Good stuff. But anyway, that is when it's in 362, it's the death of the Executioner. I always thought, it's not your typical death scene by any means. He's the writer and artist on that. Anytime Walt Simonson's the writer and artist on something, you're in for a good time.
Something's gonna happen.
When he teams up with his wife, that is some good stuff.
Louise
Simonson. Yes, she is. Wow, what a good writer. But yeah, they go to Hell to rescue some souls that Hela has captured and she shouldn't be having, and the Executioner is this longtime Thor villain decides to join them. And they're making their break for it with all these souls they've rescued. And the Executioner, he's going to stay behind and hold them off on this bridge and hold off the army of dead that are coming. And there's those iconic images of him with the two M16s. Mm-hmm. And the dead are piling up, and he's swinging at them with the rifle over his shoulder. And you don't see him die. All you see is an image of the Executioner, and it slowly fades away. I'm like, wow.
That's cool.
That was really cool reading that.
I don't think I've ever actually read a Thor comic book. I don't know why. It's not like I mean, the Avengers and everything, I like it, but I've never picked one up.
You could do a lot worse than the Simonson run, believe me.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
All right, let me do my number 5. First, I'm going to give a couple of my honorable mentions. I have a few because my list was going to be 8 long before I said I got to stop. But honorable mention, Ultimate Spider-Man dies in Ultimate Spider-Man number 160, Ultimate Spider-Man's version of Peter Parker. And then, of course, Miles Morales becoming the Spider-Man and that whole story arc. That was great stuff. If you haven't read Brian Michael Bendis's Ultimate Spider-Man, which started the Ultimate Universe stuff, you should.
Yeah.
It's good. What else? Gwen Stacy dies. How can you not have a shocking, tear-jerking thing?
Oh yeah, when she died, it was like holy, Green Goblin killed her.
Chucked her off a bridge.
He did his best to save her, but that snap.
Yeah. So that's Amazing Spider-Man 121. Those are my 2 honorable mentions of great moments. But my last one, and I'm gonna say that it's probably not as pivotal as either of those, but it was shocking at the time when it happened. Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine's body.
I know, God.
In 1993's X-Men number 5.
Yes.
And then follow that up with the subsequent issue of Wolverine number 75, where he pops claws for the first time, and they're bone.
Yes.
It was like, they weren't just metal implants the whole time.
I remember reading that. When he ripped the adamantium out, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing he could do.
I mean, you always kind of questioned it. It was like, oh, God, Magneto versus Wolverine's the dumbest thing ever because it's metal, right?
Yeah.
But he never...
Or Colossus.
Or Colossus, yeah. But he never really exploited that when they fought.
Yeah, if you're going up against Magneto, you know what? Wolverine, Colossus, you can ride the bench on this one.
Yeah,
just stay home today.
They're backups. But finally, in X-Men number 25, he's like, enough is enough. Yoink, and pulls all that adamantium out of his body. And it's just hanging out of him, and Jean's holding him together psychically.
Yeah.
There's another moment in that where Jean has like it's through narration, so it's not like her thoughts necessarily, but it says something like, "Oh, I've always loved him ever since the beginning," and you're like, "Wait a minute, I thought you were Cyclops' girl. What's going on with that?" Like I never realized. I knew Wolverine always kind of had a thing for her, but like in that bit of narrative, it expressed that. As she's watching him, what she thinks is die, she's like, "Oh, I always loved him," and then she starts to fall out of I think it was the Blackbird or some plane, and then he's going into cardiac arrest, and then he gets up and he's like, "Oh, she's fallen out of the plane," and like she comes to him in his mind. It's just this crazy like series of events. That was. For me at the time in '93, I would have been 13 years old or something. I was like, "Oh my God, what is happening? They're literally like just changing the world here."
Yeah, and then the popping the bone claws was really unexpected.
No, I assumed like, well, what is he gonna do now? Like, yeah, he still has the healing thing, but like he doesn't have weapons anymore. And I was like, no, he's still good.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where he's talking to I don't remember if it was Kitty Pryde. It was one of the younger girls. They're outside, and she's like asking him like, how are you, like, you're bleeding again or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, well, I just keep popping them out over and over, like so that the wound stays open like pierced ears, so that it doesn't close up." And he was just like periodically popping his bone claws out to like keep that wound from healing.
Yeah.
It was a crazy run, and again, I don't think it was impactful like Gwen Stacy dying, or like when at least the Ultimate Universe of Peter Parker dies, but it was nuts.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's my top 5. That's Matt's top 5.
What are yours? Let's hear.
Yeah, definitely. Down in the comments below, let us know what your favorite moments, craziest, jaw-dropping moments are.
It doesn't have to be a crazy big event or anything, just something that like made your jaw hit the floor,
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up and say thanks for tuning in and watching. As always, I appreciate it. Of course, thanks for Matt for joining me.
All right. Of course, anytime.
Hopefully you'll be here for many, many future videos. Yep. And until then, I'll say keep on watching, keep collecting, and bye now.
Bye.